I am here in Google Sheets, and what we're going to do is make a line graph with multiple lines. And of course, as we've understood, making the line graph, or any graph, really depends on how you choose to enter in the information. And the best thing to do is to use columns, and as we've discussed in other videos, you should always have a column that has the values of your independent variable. In this case, our independent variable is not exactly the hours studying, they're more of a controlled variable. But what we have over here is dependent variable values for different classes. So if you think of this data here and what it's doing, it's saying if you study 1 hour, you will get a 60 in biology, a 50 in chemistry, and a 30 in physics. So these over here are controlled variables that we're measuring at each time instance. Our true independent variable is biology, chemistry, and physics. And this is the case of how we enter in our data using a column format. So we want hours to be on the X or horizontal axis. And then we want grade to be on the Y or vertical axis, and we want one line each for these three things. So I'm going to start by going up to the Insert menu and clicking Chart. And of course we use Google Sheets because it gives us recommendations for what to do with our data. And that's what we have here. Right, we have a nice recommendation. It says hours studying on the axis down here. It didn't add grade and percentage, but we can insert that later on. But look at what we have here. We've got lines for each one of these classes, and that's what we're comparing. So to complete this graph, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click on the dot, 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 and I'm going to click Edit Chart. And what it's telling me is that the setup for this has 3 series, biochem, physics, and that's true. I have 3 series of data, right? 1 series for each of our independent variables. But what I want to do is I want to add a y-axis label. So I'm going to go over here to Customize, and right here it has Chart, Axes, and Title. So I can change the title if I want to, but there's also the axes that I can change that's in here as well. So if I click on title, it gives me choices. Oh, did you want to change the subtitle, the horizontal axis title? No, that's fine. Or the vertical, and I'm going to say vertical. And down here, it wants me to type in the text, and the text is grade and the percentage sign, because that's what those numbers mean. Okay, so once I click off of that, look, my little grade comes up right here. The other thing that I want to do is I want to add data labels. And so I'm going to click on Series, and I'm going to scroll down until I get the box that I can click for data labels. Now, we know that Google Sheets will just insert the data labels for you, and usually the default is that it puts them above the line. But look, I don't have any data labels for over here, nor even this last point over here. So what I might want to do is to change the position of the data labels. And usually with line graphs, you want to say below. And that's what forces us to have all 3 of those data labels. There are some other things that we can do, like restricting the axis to go from 25 to 100. I talk about that in another video. But this is good to go. And what you can do is you can take this and just copy and paste it into your answer in Brightspace, or you can send me a link, which I also talk about in another video. But if you send a link, you have to make sure that I'm able to have access to the link.